We're ready. Whoop whoop. Right, let's get it. Let's get it on, baby. Nana back in the hot seat. Come on, everybody. Let's go. It looks like we're going to start on time for once. Just waiting to ready up. We've got 15 drivers today, and we're all readying up now. And it's going to be an intriguing race going into it. And yeah, obviously we've got Thorium here today as well, so his championship lead probably won't drop. Why aren't I racing? Well, the stream won't be a thing if I wasn't racing. But yeah, here we are. Obviously, we've got Surface, one new driver, and he's looking pretty handy around here. So we'll see where he stacks up against Thorium. It'll be very interesting to see because he's not far off on time trial and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see where his level actually is. Can everyone hear me? It doesn't sound like it. 1 minute. Oh, that's why. I was wondering why I wasn't echoing in my actual headset, so I presumed you guys couldn't hear me, but in fact you can. So yeah, we've got 15 drivers here today, so we've got a fair amount. Obviously, big news in the week that Dave's left us as well as Technic Gaming, unfortunately, and Mystic Man's dropped down to T2 as you've just seen. So that's really the big news recently, but Service has come in and hopefully he can do a good job. Good evening to Alfie, who just got P2 in the last race, the T2 race. So hopefully we can put on a show for you guys here today. Obviously we've got several drivers capable of winning. Apparently it's going to rain in the race, and that will throw up a few surprises. I'm pretty sure about that, as we've got a few people on outlaps. So we've got Mustang, who's got straight out there, and he's going around now this bend here where you can track extend to Narnia, as I found out. And some of the T2 guys didn't choose, well, all of them chose not to risk it, whereas I decided to. And I'm not saying it didn't pay off, I just got a bit unlucky, but we'll see where these guys are today. Mustang is a handy driver himself. Doesn't seem to have quite the pace that you. Oh, he span at the S. That isn't a good start for Mustang. That'll probably ruin his tyres for this run. But there's plenty of time. I'm presuming Mustang hasn't done a lot of practice on this so far, but he was the first driver on track. Anyone else? We've got a massive queue of cars here between Ben Gallagher, and we've also got Mebe coming out as well. Everybody's coming out in similar positions. The Pirate, Silver Star, and Sig Seals is about to start lap, so we'll go on board with him as he starts the lap. He's going down into turn 1, you're shifting down to 4th gear, near the 50 metre board, almost in between. and then you're trying to carry the speed all the way through. He's shifted up to 5th very late there. So I don't know if that's actual thing or not, but going into the left or the right left, as you can see, he's missing every apex going. I don't know if this is like glitch directions, but I don't know. But from 6 seals so far, it doesn't look particularly strong. We'll get the dash up so then we can see what's going on with Sig, and going into chicane now, 4th, 3rd. Also guys, if you can't hear me properly, let me know, because I've got a new mic, so testing with it. But 6 seals doesn't look to have the best of laps so far, but I could be wrong. I mean, this game is very deceiving, I must admit. You can see he wasn't running the curb there like Thorium would be, and I would be, or people like that. Maybe the faster people. I'm not expecting 6 seals to be near the top of the timings, but it's a good representation. I'm expecting this to be a 30 possibly. It is so far wide, and that probably is an invalidated lap. But on ultra laps it's a 31.2, and that's an awful lap from 6 seals. No offence. I beat that on softs earlier. But we've got Silver Star coming into the final sector now. Into a very tricky left-hander there that you can easily lose a car if you get caught in the curb. Now into the last few corners again. This is a very tricky left-hander. And the final corner now, you really want to be going into first gear, but I think, has he aborted the lap? I don't think so, but he's done a 29.8, which is already beating the pole time of the T2 guys. As Real Wheelman just goes ahead of 6 seals, only just. And Fap Alex just goes behind Silver Star by just under a tenth. As Technica goes P3. Is there anybody out there? Thorium. Is he coming to end of his lap? Not quite. Surface is just behind Thorium actually. No, Thorium's behind Surface actually. So it'll be interesting to see where these two are. Mebe goes P4, so it's fairly close in the midfield. And Jack also just slots in behind Mebe, so 1/10 between Technica and Jack there. As we're looking at Golf Tech right now, but I think it might be worth watching someone else. It's Antonio Carlo with a 28.5. That is a great lap. And it was a 31.5 for Surface there, but it was invalidated. And VP Thorium didn't even get anywhere near it. 7/10 off. What a lap from Antonio Carlo. Oh, 28.5. 7/10 quicker than VP Thorium at the minute. And I mean, that is crazy. Crazy. And overall, the gap between Thorium and Silver Star is massive as well. But what a lap by Antonio Carlo that is. I'm be very surprised if anyone beats that. It's that good. I'm not saying it can't happen, but Golf Tech is also P5 ahead of Technica. But there's only a select few in this grid that can do that. We'll keep an eye on Surface. I don't know where he is. He's 1.2 up on his original time, so I think this will be a mid-29 of some sort. From the Greek driver. But yeah, it looks like everyone else is really struggling compared to Antonio Carlo's lap. And I've got to say that is an impressive lap. That's a time trial lap. That's a very decent time trial lap. Whereas we've got Surface now. We're coming across the line, and it's a 29.4, putting him just behind Thorium, who's coming into the pits, and Antonio Carlo. I can't believe he pulled that one out. And I think we're seeing Jack here, as my mic seems to have got louder, coming on into the chicane, braking about 100 metres, but he decides to, well, he's trying to get round. I think that's the end of the first runs. Ben's outbroken himself. The Pirate, is he going for another lap? But I don't think so, he's not in hot lap mode. Same with Mustang, who seems to be really struggling at the minute. But yeah, The shock is how far VP4 him is off of Antonio Carlo. I mean, that wasn't expected at all. I don't think Surface is going for another run, is it? No, he's in lead mix. But yeah, a 28.5 for Antonio Carlo has really put the cat amongst the pigeons, and that will force for him its hand into doing something quite special. And then that's what he wanted. That's what he asked for beforehand. He wanted someone to push him. So maybe Antonio Carlo's the one to really step up after Technic Gaming obviously left. He was the one who was really challenging, but Antonio Carlo's got 2 wins this season, so he's no stranger to the front of this grid, and I'm sure that he can make something happen as everyone keeps coming out to bits. We've got some outlaps now from Silverstar. I think Silverstar can get closer. Alex, I know, is hugely capable. 1.3 seconds might be a bit too much. That's a lot quicker than his time trial, so debatable if he can even get anywhere near. Golf Tech, I think everybody can improve. Probably the exception of Antonio Carlo, who's done a stunning lap. And I mean, to put that into context of T2 times, I mean, mainly T2 were using super softs and softs, don't get me wrong, but I think that's like just over 1.5 seconds slower, T2 times, so that just shows the difference. But here comes Silverstar ravelling himself up for a lap. We'll go on board with him because he's the furthest around the track at the minute. So Silverstar coming across the line now to start his lap, and he's going into turn 1, brake as late as you dare. He doesn't use all the track, but enough to carry enough speed. I wonder if that's a good enough exit. It looked pretty decent. Will he use all the track going into the exit, the entry here? He does. Now we keep it nice and tight, run as wide as you like, but it chooses not to, and I think people are losing time by not using all the track there. Obviously you can run wide there without it corner cutting you. Let's see what Silverstar can do here in the sector split. I'm pretty sure it'll be fairly close to now, maybe into the chicane. Keeps it nice and tidy. And now going into the next corner, he's done a 24 foot. I don't really know. It's not telling me how good that is. I'm presuming by the fact he's sticking at it, might mean he might be improving. But he has turned the EOS down a bit, I think. Power mode 3 rather than 5. Maybe that's just a tactic. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure. But here comes Silverstar, going to come into the end of his lap, and will he be able to improve on his lap time? Yes, he does, and he just goes ahead of Surface, just about. I mean, very, very close margins there. Very close indeed. As Fap Alex is winding up for another lap, I think he suffered on that lap. Thorium's about to start his lap as well. Actually, no, he's just finished the lap. He's just improved by 10th, but doesn't make a difference as Mebe goes to P2. I've just realised with a 29.0. So a good lap from Mebe as well to try and dislodge these the Thorium, I suppose. As Thorium's out there now, as you can see, he'll use all the track. And I spoke about this earlier, it's Antonio Carlo, a 28.3. What a lap that is. That is unbelievable. That is taking the piss. That's how good that lap is. Good luck Thorium as he's improving on his time, but on Antonio Carlo, Antonio Carlo's got this in the bag. What a lap! But never rule out Thorium, I'm just going to say that now. As we're going to stay on board with him. as he runs very wide. I don't know if that's going to help him on exit. But he's the only man in the 28s. The surface has gone into the 28s, in fact. Just now with a 28.9. Can Thorium, the championship leader, actually do something? No, he comes into the pits. Maybe a new fresh set of tyres last minute, but there's only 2 men in the 28s. I mean, Antonio Carlo, 28.3. That is... that's an amazing lap. Thorium's only P4. I mean, we haven't said that many times this season at all. I mean, and Silver Star isn't a million miles away. Alex isn't managing to improve. There's kind of be 2 battlers here between the top 5 and then everybody else at this minute. So, yeah, fairly interesting. I think... why isn't it working? We've got a few people out on laps. Ben Gallagher's given up on his. I think Real Wheelman is starting one, but doesn't look particularly quick. In all fairness, Surface is going to come into the pits, but yeah, after that second run, I can't believe Antonio Carlo improved on that time. That was a 28.3. What a lap! And I don't care what anybody says, that's one of the laps of the season, right there. Because my controller keeps wanting me to not look at people in the pits. But Surface is only going to come into the pits, so we'll have a look at Ben Gallagher's. I saw their Force India coming out. For sneaker submission, that might be Thorium. You see at the end of the pit lane. I could be wrong. It is Thorium coming out nice and early, trying to get them 2 runs in. He knows he can do it. He just needs to nail the lap. He's number 1 in the time trial leaderboard, so he knows how to do it. He just needs to make it happen. There's Golf Tech's out on the track as well, and Fap Alex, but I think Golf Tech's is the furthest way round of all the 3rd runners. But someone who's really struggling is Technica. I expected him to be a little bit more up, but it's very close in the midfield. I mean, 3/10 separate 6th and 9th, so it's not an easy thing to gain. But we're gonna keep an eye on Golf Tech, seeing as he's the furthest way around. In the Toro Rosso, obviously Thorium's brother, not quite as good by own admission, but still a great driver at this point, and be hoping for a good result. He's capable of podiums on his day, but here he goes across the line to start his lap. So we're going to go into turn 1. Did he start his lap? Yeah. Oh, and he's lost the back end, and yeah, that's the end of that lap. So unfortunately for him, he just lost the back end, and I think Thorium is about to start his lap, and we'll put the pressure on by watching him. Yeah, I think this will be a great lap. Oh, very close to track extending there from Thorium. I just think he kept it in the limits. He's really going for this now, keeping it nice and tight, carrying the speed. 2nd gear, run wide, because that's how you gain all the speed. And as you can see, he's a little bit up on his time, keeping it within the limits of the track. I don't think it was a perfect sector for him, but just good enough. And now coming into sector number 2 now, and chicane now down into 4th gear, then into 3rd, chuck it in, and then on exit just run it a little bit wide. Thorium keeps it within the limits this time, and let's see what it is. He's 1.5 tenths up, so that'll be good enough to get into P2, but maybe his final sector wasn't that great, so we'll find out now as he just ducks it in. Runs it wide. There's a car there, it's Mebe. He keeps it well out of the way. Will it distract him? He keeps it nice and tight this time. That's a better run from him, but the exit was a bit sketchy. And now into the last couple of corners. Keep it nice and tight. 4th gear. Minimise the last corner as much as you can. 1st gear. Does he get enough good enough exit? We'll find out in a second. VP Thorium gets a 0.7. 4 tenths off Antonio Carlo. What a lap from Antonio Carlo that was. It seems that nobody can get anywhere near it at this point. The surface looks a little bit into the chicane there. And I don't think he's going to be improving on this run. I think that'll be end of his qualifying. Yeah, I think he's turned it down. I'm not 100% sure. The Pirate has given the ghost, but P9 for the Pirate isn't horrific. Alex has definitely given up the ghost. Well, he's improved actually to a 0.5. Very close to Silver Star, but not enough. And F1 Mustang actually, was really struggling, managed to just sneak there, just behind Alex, very close. There's a bit of blocking apparently from Silver Star and Surface. We'll see what that does after qualifying, but here comes Mebe into the final few corners now. This right-hander is keeping it nice and clean. And Mebe is a very capable driver. He won round 1 and hasn't really been anywhere since. But on his day, obviously he can win, and he won very dominantly. And that's it for Mebe. And VP Thorium is pit, which leaves the field wide open as everyone's actually finished their laps. Jack only P9, Golf Tech P8. Technica, a former champion, P11. Probably in the perfect position with tyre strategy, but can Antonio Carlo improve further? Oh, he does! That is unbelievable. 28.2. Oh my lord, to not get just 1 lap in the 28s, but to get 3. And to finish on a 28.2, that is unbelievable. Oh my god, I can't believe what I've just seen. And I've got to commentate on this. Owen White, eat my heart out. Jesus Christ. So the Italian Stallion sticks it on pole by over half a second to Thorium. To Thorium, this is, you know, Thorium's the one who's been banging in the poles, winning the races. But Antonio Carlo's dominated. What can Thorium respond with? I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. With Surface in second, there's only 4 people within a second of that time. That's how good that time was. I mean, these aren't bad drivers. That's just an amazing time. Wow. I can't believe what I've just seen. Wow. What a race this is going to line up to be. I mean, Thorium, I thought he was the favourite by a mile, and I'm just thinking who can actually beat him. But Antonio Carlos beat half a second. But obviously it's raining in the race, and that can throw up a few surprises. And I wonder, this could be a crazy, crazy race. I wanted a good race, and I think they're going to deliver. And it's all about the start, really. If he can get it together, and then just to see if he can pull away. But Thorium is not somebody who can just shake off that easily. It's really intriguing. Really intriguing. Hopefully we can have a great one. No incidents into turn 1 would be nice. And some just drama. Pure drama, that's what we need. As we're waiting for them to choose their strategies. I don't know if it'll dry out. All that I know is it's raining at the start, and that's it. And that's why they all went ultra softs, I reckon, rather than the super softs. Super softs. Right. So we're looking at this lovely little pole here for the formation lap, and we're going to have a rundown of the grid. Antonio Carlo takes pole position after his win. I think he won last time a week, didn't he? No, he didn't win last week. He won at Monaco. Yeah. Not at Canada. Thorium won at Canada. The trading punches, but Thorium is a long way the championship leader, but Antonio Carlo has to respond, really. And what a way to respond by beating him by half a second. That's one way to get his attention. And Surface, obviously the new driver, wasn't a million miles away himself. Antonio Carlos taking some interesting lines. Mebe sitting in just behind with Silverstar. They seem to be very similar pace, Mebe and Silverstar. Two really nice drivers, really nice people as well. Alex, a little bit frustrated. Obviously, the champion, believe it or not, only had 3 race wins in his championship winning year. Of the 15, well 14, he won 3. Santigisto actually won 5 or 6. So that just shows that consistency pays. Obviously, he's took the line off this year and he's not quite as quick as he was, but I'm no doubt that he's still got it in his locker to surprise a few people. F1 Mustang with a great qualifying actually, after really struggling initially, with Golf Tech behind him. Jack really struggling with the line as well. But yeah, it makes for a very interesting race. This rain just throws up an extra element that we didn't have before. The Pirate in 10th, Technica in 11th, Ben Gallagher in 12th for the Williams guys, Chupathingi, the Real World Man in 6th. They seem to be the back 4 at the minute in this race, but Technica's quite surprised. He's a bit out of position. Technica's usually around 6th, 5th, around there. But yeah, we're going to come to the end of the formation lap. Antonio Carlo, what have you got in your locker? We'll find out very shortly. As I'm going to readjust my towel. Ready for this race. It's going to make me sweat a little bit. I always sweat. It's an SLR race for all my boys. And let's see what they can produce today. And I'm hoping for a great race. We're all set. They're all in their grid slots, and we're all ready and set for 5 red lights very shortly, unless Codemasters are showing some few surprises. But no, we're going to 5 red lights. Will Antonio get it off the line? And it's lights out. It is lights out and away we go. We were just waiting for ages. And Antonio Carlo manages to get a decent enough start. And Thorium tries it around the outside. That is bold. Bold from Thorium. And it just about pays. Oh, Antonio Carlo's been forced so far wide, but he keeps the lead. Thorium is up his arse. And he's going to try it around the outside of Antonio Carlo. But Antonio parks the bus and manages to keep it all around the outside. I thought there was going to be a little bit of contact. Antonio keeps position, but Thorium's going to get the better line. And look at Surface, who's going to be with these 3 as well. And it doesn't look like it, but Antonio is going to come under. Massive pressure now from Thorium, as Thorium's got the inside line but can't quite get the straight line speed. As going into the chicane now, who breaks later? Antonio Carlo chops across Thorium there to keep the lead of the race, and this is extremely close now. As we're looking from Surface now, and then oh, Thorium and Antonio Carlo going side by side. Oh, there's contact. Oh, Antonio, where is he? He's gone there. Thorium. Oh, he squeezed him. Oh, Thorium, you dirty driver. As Surface takes the lead of the race, and Antonio Carlo is so unlucky. He's at the back of the pack. I think he's okay with front wing, but he's ended up right at the back as we're watching Chupid Thingy. But Surface did take the lead, and then Thorium got it back. And now Surface, will he have a go into turn 1 here with a better exit possibly? I think Thorium has controversially got this this lead, and we know what he's like in the lead as he loses his braking point time. Surface has nailed it. Look at this from Surface. He's really up his chuff of the Brit, as he's really coming under some real pressure. Mebe isn't a million stand with Silverstar. Mustangs had a decent start as well. We're all struggling. We don't know. We know what Mebe is like in the wet. He won in the wet. So as we will see now, Surface, can he get the exit of dreams? It doesn't look like it. Thorium's just pulled away. As it's 5 second stop and go for 6 Heels for gaining a place through corner cutting. Yeah. But these two look to be on for a race-long battle. Surface now is right up. Oh, he's lost his braking point. It's very difficult in the rain, as Mebe is climbing all over the curbs. And we've got Silverstar and Mustang Golf Tech. Alex has dropped down a position as well. I think that's through Mustang getting both. Technica, Ben Gallagher, and then we've got Six Seals Chopper looking at Six Seals. And Antonio Carlo's already up into P13, I think, due to pit stops possibly, no. Yeah, Thorium, I agree, that was my POV. Thorium probably was at fault for Antonio Carlo. I think he went too aggressive into that thing. He should have just been patient, because Antonio isn't exactly slow. As look at this from Antonio, right around the outside of Six Seals. Oh, the bit of contact, but it's all fair and game. As we're going to look at this for a train from Mebe. He's holding them right up as Thorium sets the fastest lap of the race. Mebe's just dropping like a fly. Is there any moves going on? I don't think so, but there's a nice train there. From P3 to P9, Six Seals gets another 5-second stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But yeah, as we can see, Alex, from Alex's POV, we've got Mustang all over the back of Silverstar, and Silverstar all over the back of Mebe. And it looks like the front two are really getting away. And yeah, it's very, very easy to lock a brake in the rain, and that could be the end of everybody. Obviously we had no assists, so that's the way it'll work. It's a bit harsh, but it's the way life is sometimes. As Technica and Jack seem to have dropped off slightly. Ben is a bit more back from that. But look at Silverstar. He's actually hit Mebe around the corner. He's that much quicker. And Mebe is a little bit all over the place at the minute, as Mustang is looking at Silver Stars possibly, because Mustang's had a great start. Mustang is really in the mood as Mebe runs a little bit wide. Does Silver Star put it in the gap? No, not quite. He doesn't put it in the hole, and unfortunately for him, Mebe is just holding them up so much, and it's allowing Surface and Thorium to just get away slightly. And yeah, as you can see, Chopper Thingy's made a move on Ben Gallagher further down the field, as I think Ben made a slight mistake there. As you can see, this train, it's just so big as it loses the back end there. Golf Tech, just one good exit. They can't get past each other though. It's just so hard for them right now. I'll get the telemetry and lap data up, but as you can see how different modes they're using. Mebe's really defending on the straights. I think they've got similar though on the ERS. Mustang's used a lot of ERS. I think he's now in saver mode, as Silverstar goes really, really deep and picks up 3 second time penalty, deservedly. But look at this. I think he's tactically thinking 3 seconds is nothing to me. If I can get past him, then I'll gain more than 3 seconds. Maybe that is the attitude. As Mebe loses the back end, and surely Silverstar will get this. Mebe is going to go defensive. There was a gap there. I'd have went for that. That was a personal thing. But we're going to watch from F1 Mustang as Silverstar goes right around the outside of Mebe, and that is a great move from Silverstar to make his way around Mebe, the roadblock, and into P3 onto the podium. And it'll be interesting to see if Silverstar can make gains on the top 2. As Surface isn't quite keeping with Thorium at the minute. There's oh, Mustang loses the back end. He goes for it. Oh, the chop from Mebe there. Oh, and he's gonna go for it again. Is it gonna end in tears? Oh, that's ending in tears. Oh, Golf Tech. An opportunist move there. Mebe is all over the shop. Mustang trying around the outside. I think Mustang realised that was probably his fault, so he's going to just concede it. But Golf Tech with the opportunistic move, it's going to get drier. I mean, look at the sky. It's definitely getting more light in the background. But Thorium sets another fastest lap of the race, and he's going to just try and blow these away rather because of the Antonio Carlo incident. But Golf Tech, double overtake, just putting his car in the right place at the right time, managed to get past Mebe and Mustang, and this allows Jack to get on the back of both of them. And look at this for a run from Jack as he loses the back end. Alex isn't being able to keep up. Technica is a long way back. I don't know if he's got from wind damage, but Antonio Carlo's working his way through the field. He's up into the points, as we've got no retirement so far. As Mustang and Mebe again, and Jack this time is trying the double overtake, and he's got past Mebe. Mebe is just going to concede the position, but look at this for a run Maybe is going to get past Jack again, and will he ever go Mustang? I mean, look at this for a run, and Jack has nowhere to go. He's gone way too deep. The racing line has affected him there. Oh, and Mustang is. Oh, that's just unfortunate for Mustang there. Alex is out of the race, and he just span it, lost the back end, and that was our first retiree. Talking of that, and this field is starting to spread out a little bit now. As Silver Star is starting to get up the road from Golf Take. That little battle was so good, but Alex, so unfortunate from him. He's got all the bad luck. But I wonder if the safety car will come out. That would bring out something, wouldn't it? But it's not likely. Would be interesting though. As Golf Tech is not keeping up with Mustang a lot, but we've got Mebe and Jack still at it. I'm sure Mustang would like to get involved. So we go on to lap number 6, Thorium, who's leading from surface at the minute. We're watching the battle for P5. As Mebe is looking at Jack, and then there's Golf Tech just in front of Jack at the minute. And we hope this turns into something of a battle. We've had quite a lot of drama in this race. We've had some nice battling, we've had a bit of contact here and there, but that can be worked on. As Mebe is now looking at the back of Jack, and also looking at the back of Golf Tech as well. These three seem to be fairly evenly paced. I think Mebe is just dropping back slightly. As VP Thorium picks up a penalty. We'll have a look at penalties as Thorium gets his first. Surface isn't far away. Golf Tech has one as well. Yeah, everyone's starting to pick them up. Obviously, this is very difficult. Maybe he hasn't actually got none. I think he's going a bit more cautious. Possibly, but Surface has got one soon. He hasn't got one. He'll have one soon. It's 1-1 in a way, so I'm presuming he'll have one. But this track is definitely drying out, so will they go for... They'll probably go for the soft tyres, as they'll go to the end rather than the supers. But Ben Gallagher and the Pirate are having a nice little ding-dong. As the Pirate is running a little bit wide than Ben Gallagher. He had his chopper thingy. Antonio Carlo was actually caught up to Mustang Technica, and these guys. Antonio Carlo's on a tear right now. I mean, he's caught up to Mustang and Technica and these guys, so he's doing rather well. Could he still get a podium? Because he's at 1,000,000 miles away. I mean, Silverstar's going into the second chicane, and Antonio's coming out the first, so. The 6 Hills gets another stop, 5-second stop and go. I mean, it looks like he's loving the 5-second stop and goes at the minute. We've got Technica and P7 here, the former Season 2 champion actually. As the Season 3 champion actually just dropped out. Well, dropped it and out. and now we're looking at Mustang, looking at Technica, and Antonio Carlo is going to be catching them fairly, so it's definitely drying out. Jack is actually right up Golf Tech's chuff, and we've got a wild 6 Seals getting another 5-second stop and go. What will 6 Seals do? It's coming across a little bit there. That's a bit scary for my liking. Anyway, who's braver? I don't think they'll be going flat through there quite yet. As we've got 16 viewers. Hello, everybody. Yeah, it was so sad for Antonio. I'm presuming it'll be looked at by the stewards. Well, because it was quite a big mistake. But Antonio Carlo is making good gains. I mean, he's got Technica and F1 Mustang just ahead of him. There's 6 Seals is all over the shop. And we've also got Jack on the back of Golf Tech, and we've also got Mebe in that little bit of a fight. So hopefully it'll spice up. Obviously Surface is actually keeping up with Thorium out, picking up a penalty, I'm presuming. So he has yet to get a penalty, while Thorium has got a penalty. So at the minute Surface is actually winning the race, which, believe it or not, as Silver Star is actually keeping up quite nicely as well. I mean, 6 seconds now. I think he's dropping a bit, but I'm not 100% sure. We've got Golf Tech in 4th, and we've got Jack in 5th, and the same gap to Thorium as well, as Technica gets a 3-second stopping, 3-second penalty. Mustangs actually came into the pits, and Antonio Carlo isn't really gaining on Technica at the minute. But Mebe and Jack, are they in for a fight? It doesn't look like it. I think they're all strung out just a little bit, and yeah, Surface has just dropped out that 3-second mark as Mustang leaves the session. I don't know if that's on purpose. I don't know if that's on purpose or not. I'm presuming not, but we're down to 13. I don't know if 6 years is left. I think he's trying to get disqualified, personally. Whereas Antonio is still looking at the rear end of that Mercedes, and talking about Haas, Force India and Toro Rosso battle here, as Jack is starting to move and trying to make a move on to Golf Tech, as he's all over the shop. These two are fairly similar players. They both turned the line off, so they've dropped back a little bit to where there was a real wheelman. And we don't have a clue where real wheelman is. If we go to the front, I'm sure we'll find him. But he's retired from the session, which puts us down to 12 at this French Grand Prix, as the closest battle on track is these three all together: Jack and Golf Tech and Mebe, all in the picture, and you can see Silverstar just a little bit ahead. So Golf Tech's not massively down on Silverstar. Antonio Carlos up into 8th place, starting to make a move on Technica, it seems. 6/10 now back, so expect some battles. It's going to get dry, so it's going to get feisty here in France, and expect something special to happen, I suppose, close to the end. This is far from over. We've got a battle for the lead still. Penalties or not, it's still a battle. And Mebe is now looking at Jack still, and I think Jack is actually closer to the Golf Tech. Yeah, he is on the Delta. So maybe these two can have a bit of ding-dong. As Jack just runs a little bit right there, running flat through there now, which presumably means it's fairly fairly dry. It's who blinks first, especially with the leaders, and I think it's suiting Thorium this part of the race at the minute. Surface is just in behind. And yeah, it's going to be fairly close. Anybody can still win this race. Obviously, it's going to go to dry. Who picks the moment? And Ben Gallagher and the Pirate are having a little bit of a ding dong. Still, Ben. Ooh, nearly hits the Pirate. Very close, and we've got 20 viewers. Hello, everybody. The party is just starting as Mebe and Jack are all over the shop, as they're right in front of each other now. But yeah, we're just waiting for the dry period. That's when it'll start getting interesting, and we'll see where it all shakes out. Antonio Carlo obviously got pole by a massive half a second over Thorium, but obviously Thorium had a bit of contact in an early battle with Thorium, unfortunately that sent him to last. But now it looks like he's going to make his move on Technica. Obviously Technica Season 2 champion is no slouch, as I think Thorium's made a bit of an error. He definitely has, because Surface has gained about half a second on him through that sequence of corners. But we're going to keep on a close eye on Antonio Carlo, who doesn't make any rash moves, which is fair enough from him. As now we're going into nearly the halfway stage of the race, 10 laps in. I wonder how the intermediates are actually holding up themselves. Obviously, some people will be looking after them better. I think Mebe will probably be looking after them better than Jack. Oh, and talking about Mebe, oh, I think that was a bit more dramatic than his POV, but I don't know. I don't know anymore. It'd have been nice to have a safety car to just bunch it all up again. That would have been lovely. But there are still battles, especially between these three. Golf Take's kind of stabilised the gap between him and Silverstar. Silverstar's dropping back from surface. And Antonio is trying to make a move on Technica, but it seems to get away from him. But going into the breakers, Technica's actually ran quite deep there. But will it matter? I mean, Antonio lost the back end. So it didn't matter indeed, and it means he's lost a bit more time. But all it takes is one mistake. Mebe is 1.5 seconds back from Jack. Jack is only 1.2, and after that little bit of an excursion from Golf Tech, that will close it up a little bit. Surely. Actually, not that much. Not as much as I hoped. As Jack into the break, so a lot more confident than Golf Tech. Golf Tech through there was very ginger. Very gingerly, that's the word I was looking for. Not quite being able to capitalise. Antonio Carlo gets a 3-second time penalty. What's the penalty? Thorium picked up anything else? He's picked up a warning. Surface is still without a penalty. Well, that is fairly impressive. There's Antonio now. Not Antonio, and Jack now is putting all sorts of pressure onto Golf Tech's shoulders. And how will he deal with it? His brother didn't deal with it particularly great, as we've got an incident in Sector 1, and the first person to blink is Thorium. And into the pits comes Surface as well, Forrest follows him in. Will Silverstar? No, he won't. They're all coming in, it seems. Will Golf Tech carry on? No. Jack carries on. What will it hurt him or not? Mebe in. I think he's made a huge mistake. He's the only one staying out. Technica's stayed out as well. So very interesting. It's Thorium coming out, and so is Surface. So that's the gap between the lead two. It's 2.7 seconds. It's come down since the pit stops, and he's gone into. Oh, that's a massive mistake from Surface. He's gone to super softs. There's no way he's getting them to the end. Surely not. But it's a Renault 4.5 at the minute. I'm not sure you can get. Maybe that's just handed the victory to Thorium. But let's see how these guys on the intermediates are handling. I mean, it's still a little bit wet, but I'm not sure it's that wet. Antonio stays out as well, Ben. So it's a mixed at the minute. Doesn't matter. Oh, he's losing 2 seconds. I don't know if these lot are gaining. Let's see at the sector split. It's hard to tell. But 6 Hills gets another 5 second stop and go. Well, how many penalties does he want? It's like he wants the penalties. But Surface is definitely a little bit close to Thorium, but unfortunately on the wrong tyres to really make something happen. I'd like to think he can catch Thorium on the supers. So Jack is now in the pits. Technica will probably be joining him. Thorium is just behind Technica now. He gets away nicely. Jack, will he be able to jump anybody, or Golf Tech's coming around the final corner now, and it's going to be very close between these two. There's Silverstar, and Jack loses the back end. There's Silverstar, and what an absolute move that is by Jack. He's got ahead of Golf Tech by using the overcut, and yeah, and that made him made the move there. So the overcut definitely worked out for Jack. I don't know if it worked out for Technica. I don't think so. I mean, Lee Gallagher, who the hell do you want me to spectate? Ben Gallagher in the middle of nowhere? Okay. I'm where the action is, bro. Now Jack is looking to try and keep up with Silverstar. I think that's tall orders. Trouble thing is still out on them intermediates. Is anyone else still out on intermediates? Ben is. Antonio's lost a lot of time. Is he going to get wet again? Not sure. Oh, Jack's got a 5 second stop and go for corner cutting. I think he missed the chicane, which is put him on the back of Silverstar, but it's not going to help him at all. A Surface is in the lead. As I was saying that, Thorium is behind Surface now. So will Surface be able to go off into the distance with them supers and pit and get him again? I doubt it, but nothing is entirely not possible with the aggressive strategy. So still a lot to play for. But it's interesting. Can Chupper Thingy pit this lap? Will he pit this lap? He will. He's called it a day on them tyres. As Golf Tech has actually made the move on Jack there. As we watch these two into turn one, obviously they're good friends. And I think Golf Tech has made that move. I think they've switched it rather than anything else. And Golf Tech is now into P4 with Jack in P5. And Mebe in P6. Yeah, Thorium does have a penalty. I don't know if he'll get a penalty for the start instant. Obviously, it depends if Antonio actually reports it. He's got a 3 second penalty from corner cutting so far. As Thorium is locked up into the chicane. And that is a 5 second stop and go for Thorium. And that could be that for Thorium at this point. That's 8 seconds worth of penalty. That has swung it into Surface's favour. A debut win is on the cards for Surface at this point. The Silverstar is in P3 as well. He might have half a chance of Thorium at this rate. With Golf taking 4th, Jack in 5th, Mebe 6th, Technica 7th, Chupper in 8th, Antonio in 9th. Ben Gallagher is in 10th, final point. Chupper, and with that overcut from Chupper has got him right in the mix. With the Pirate in P11, 6 Eels in 12th, and yeah, same with Ben Gallagher as well. He's pulled 22 seconds out on just with the overcut, I'm presuming. As I think that was Surface setting the fastest lap of the race there. In the process. But Thorium and them soft tyres aren't working for him, it seems. Seems that way anyway. As Jack comes into the pits to serve 5 seconds up and go into some fresher, better rubber. So as you can see, let's see what tyres he goes on. The Super Softs. And Chupper Thingy is now into P7, so he's having a nice race at the minute. Technico's up into P6, which is fairly decent for him from where he was. Mebe in P5, Golf Tech P4, Silverstar P3, and then we know the top two as they are at the minute. But there isn't too much going on at the minute. It all depends on what the leaders do. I mean, that's really the battle at the minute. 5 seconds stop. Oh dear, Jackie boy. Oh dear. But yeah, this race has died down now a little bit. As Golf Tech is about 1.5 seconds behind Silverstar, should I say. So it's kept up quite nice, and it'd be interesting to see if he can do something, you know. As Thorium sets the fastest lap on the soft tyres, so maybe he knows he needs to get a move on. Because we've got a rev glitch on the surface. I'll just check Twitter. I've got a message. This Chupper Thingy sets the fastest lap on his super softs. The closest battle track is this one between Golf Tech. There's a couple of under 2 second gaps between, and also the leader as well. Between Golf Tech, Silver Star, and Technica, and Mebe, and then the leaders as well. Except for that, there isn't a lot going on at the minute, and it's probably going to set in stone these positions. But Surface obviously yet to pit, so that'll probably promote Silver Star to second. Then probably VP Thorham to the win. Yet to see if he'll get a penalty to. Yeah, he'll be yet to see if we've got a penalty, but Surface sets the fastest lap this time round, knowing he needs to pull his finger out. Why have I got a feeling it's going to rain again? It got really nice and bright, and then it's, I don't know, it just seems to get cloudy again. It might be just me. Technically gets a 3-second penalty. We have to see what the penalties are like. I mean, look at that from Surface. France, that is extremely good. Thorium's got 2 penalties. Obviously, one of them's a stop and go. I don't know what Silver Stars are like. 2 penalties. Surface can make it 15 laps on Super Softs. That'd be fairly impressive. Seeing as I can only just make, I made like 20 laps on softs. I could probably have done like 23, 24, but I couldn't have done the race distance. So I sort of doubt it. As Golf Tech's actually gaining a little bit, because when Surface actually, if he has to pit, then he'll have to go behind Thorium, Silver Star, Golf Tech. He'll be in between Golf Tech and Mebe, so he'll be down in P4. And that would promote Golf Tech to the podium. And in fact, Golf Tech might get the podium anyway. I mean, Golf Tech's actually opted for the Super Softs as well. That might be why he's catching. That's why he's catching Silver Star all of a sudden. As Thorium sets the fastest lap, the trading fastest laps at the front. Antonio's still out there he's not on intermediate, surely. No, he's on softs. Let's just say. Yeah, but we can see who's gone for Super Softs. And you can see Surface and Golf Tech's the one who went to Super Softs, really aggressive as Golf Tech has really closed in on Silver Star. Maybe them Super Softs are starting to warm up now, get into the range. Because he's just under a second. He's got DRS this lap, so that'll definitely help him. But Golf Tech's losing out of the straights. Maybe he's running more downforce as Golf Tech to the rest. Technica's starting to make a closure on Mebe for P5. As VP Surface has spun in the lead. Surface spun. He was doing so well, and then he made a slight error and he spun it, and now he really has a lot of work to do. 4 seconds to Thorium. He span it in that right hand. It's very dangerous, where you're basically going in, and if you're going a little bit too quick, your back end just goes. So that's it, gone. And I'm presuming that's what happened to him. Got a little bit overconfident. Unfortunately for him. And Golf Tech sets the fastest lap of the race, and that will put him in a little bit closer range to Silver Star, although he has lost a little bit. Maybe he gained a bit of the start of the lap, possibly. As Technica sets the fastest lap in his pursuit of Mebe. Chubba Thingy sets the fastest lap. Chubba Thingy loves his fastest laps. But this battle's starting to heat up now. If one battle seems to heat up and then the other one drops off, as Thorium picks up another penalty. I think Surface might be saved by the amount of penalties Thorium's got, as Jack sets the fastest lap by quite a margin there. But Silver Star isn't a million miles behind surface at this point. Golf Tech in P4. 2 seconds now. Silver Star seems to have... Maybe the super softs are starting to go a little bit. So that might be bad news for Technica on surface. All the super soft runners. But Technica seems to be keeping up with Mebe at this point. But we're going into the last quarter of the race now. 7 laps to go. It's been a decent race, to be fair. It's died out a bit recently, but yeah. But the start was pretty crazy. Mustang, to be fair, he put up a good fight. I mean, you hit somebody and then someone hit you. It's kind of a bit of a ping pong. But I think people have just been a little bit too aggressive. This Technica picks up another penalty. Yeah, we saw at the start that Mebe was extremely... I don't think he was intending to go slow. I just think he was struggling in the rain. I think he just struggled, Mustang, like... Some people struggle more than others in the rain. And if you remember in Australia, when he actually won that race, he struggled when as soon as it started raining, he started to struggle. But he had a 20-second gap, so he couldn't really lose. I think someone closed in by... I think Thorium closed it by about 6 seconds. There's Thorium talking about him. Sets the fastest lap of the race on the softs. I think the softs are starting to pay off now. There's Ben Gallagher, it's a 3-second penalty. Ben, who's in the points at the minute. The Pirate is 11th. And Six Hills is God knows where. Mark's getting used to the line, so I suppose that's the reason why he outbroke himself a bit. But Mark's in the middle of nowhere now, so is Antonio. There's really not a lot going off. At this point. No, correct. I can see what you were trying to say there, but yeah, obviously it'll be taken to the stewards, I'm presuming. Maybe it wasn't damaged. Maybe they looked at it and thought, ah, you're alright. This Technica's closing in on Mebe a little bit. As it seems to dry out, Mebe seems to have found some pace. But Technica's starting to close in. And Chuppa Thingy's actually 2.5 seconds of these guys. I don't know if that was the same before. Oh well. But Chuppa Thingy's found a really nice groove. The Italian, obviously. He tested this game early. So we'll put it down to that. But Thorium knows he needs to pull out a massive gap, and I don't think he's capable of doing that at the minute. I'm not saying he isn't capable, but yeah, it'd be tough for any driver. As Antonio Carlos sets the fastest lap. And Antonio Carlos only 2.4 for Chuppa Thingy. These four are all coming together. I've just realised this. Antonio Carlos there is just a penalty, but Chuppa Thingy's gained by about a second on that lap. So something is happening. Something is brewing. Technica's there. Mebe is there. They're all getting pulled along in the same general direction. I think Mebe is actually pulling away from Technica. I think Technica is actually genuinely struggling rather than they're all coming together. Bit of lag there, but on Chuppa Thingy's side. Yeah, but the gap between the leaders now is 5.2 seconds, so I think Surface would still win, because I don't think Surface has actually got a penalty at all. Despite, I mean, look at that. How clean is that? And look at Thorium, all his penalties. 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties, and one of them is a 5-second stop and go, so even though Thorium is winning it, he is far from a winner today, it seems. And it looks like Surface is going to get a debut win. Probably because of Thorium. Obviously touching Antonio Carlo and co. But Chuppa Thingy is really getting racy here. The Italian stallion on T2 champion. T2 champion. Obviously the Tier 2 champion isn't actually racing. The Tier 2 is, I thought he let him pass then. What's going on? I want to watch the battle. This isn't fair. I think this is the battle. As Chuppa Thingy goes to the outside, and now you'll see him go there. Oh, he's locked up Technica and hit Chuppa Thingy. I think that was a bit of an accident. But yeah, it happens. As Antonio Carlos back on the boat for both of them now. Look at this gaining. Oh my God, Antonio! Don't even try this, baby. Oh, he is, isn't he? He's going to choke it down the inside of Chuppa. Chuppa, Chuppa, Chuppa. Dear Chuppa, no! Don't kill Chuppa Thingy. What's he ever done to you? I think it was just a bit of an accident there. But from earlier. But this is a nice little battle going off as the Pirates picks up a penalty. With 4 laps to go. And now they all get DRS, and basically Chuppa gets double DRS. Technical will be a sitting duck. And look at this from Chuppa Thingy. Racecraft. Oh, very close indeed racing there from Chuppa. And Technica's trying to fight back on Antonio now. Chuppa really weaving all over the track, trying to find a way past. Oh, Chuppa, I can see why he was scared, because I was getting a little bit scared. But we've got a nice little battle for P6. I think Antonio's going to run away with this, and Chuppa's about to get Technica. I think that's how it's going to end. But it's ended with Chuppa actually losing a position rather than gaining one. But here comes Technica and Antonio, and oh, it's going to happen again, isn't it? Chuppa knows it. Chuppa, you should have known that it was going to happen. It happened to you last lap. But Technica's going to get the old slipperoo. I won't go to the outside of that corner, or is he? They're going side by side. Chuppa Thingy is just in behind. Technica gets 3 seconds stop and go. 3 second time penalty for. No, I don't really know why, to be honest. But they're all sitting in behind Antonio Carlo in this little slipstream train. And here goes Chuppa Thingy. A bit of dab on. Oh, Technica. Oh, Technica. Technica, you should give the place back. Because that's just span Antonio and Chuppa and alright, he's letting him go. Fair play. But that allows maybe to have a bit of breathing space. But Antonio and Chuppa are now going for it, but I think Chuppa's got half front wing, so. Yeah, that's the end of that little battle. I'd presume so. But Technica's going around the outside now. As we're getting a little bit of a ding-dong between these two. Despite the half front wing of Chuppa, he looks to be getting Technica fairly shortly. Into the chicane, and it doesn't look like Technica will yield the place this time. As the gap between Golf Tech and Silverstar is really that isn't Silverstar, is it? That's No, that's his teammate. Yeah, it's really spread out. Even the gap between Surface and Thorium has spread out a lot. I think the soft tyres have been a lot more durable. I don't think Surface has got a penalty yet. What a legend. Thorium is, I think, he's one warning away. One warning away from better, I think. How thing isn't disqualified. How in not Antonio, how Six Hills isn't disqualified, I'll never know. But we're on the penultimate lap, and it's been a fairly decent race. A definite improvement on the last race, I think. Obviously, we had an early battle with Santu and Thorium and what have you, but this proved to have a lot of drama. This race, it had its place in this season. I feel like we're going back to old ways of some great battles throughout the field, and hopefully we can keep improving and snowball it into the next race. But Thorium will come across the line now for the last time, and although he thinks he probably might win the race, thinking that Surface might get a penalty of some sort, but Surface has driven pretty well, except for that little spin he had when he was leading the race. He's driven pretty damn well, and he looks like he's going to win the race deservedly. He's kept himself out of trouble, really. Obviously, he spun himself. He didn't really get involved with anybody, but Thorium's obviously got a massive penalty over his head, with Antonio possibly going into the steward inquiries. And we've got a bit of lag there. I thought he actually stopped there to let Thorium win or something. As Mebe gets 3-second penalty. Yeah, it'd be a shame to get a penalty on the last lap. I'm getting a lot of lag from Surface's POV, so we'll go off board. But VP Thorium is leading the race yet again. Another race he's led and probably should have won this race. I mean, I think he would have had the pace over Antonio over the long distance, but he'll be apologising. At the end of it, but VP Thorium comes across the line to win officially the Grand Prix, but it will be Surface who comes across the line really to win the race now, and Surface is your race winner. Oops. And yeah, it's a great race from him. Obviously, no penalties in a race. That's what's running this race by 3 seconds to Thorium. Silverstars another 8 seconds back. Golf Tech P4. Mebe gets P4. 22 hundredths in the end, because of the penalties. Mebe in the end gets that P4 somehow. Golf Tech P5. Antonio, I'm presuming, will get P6. Yep. Technica P7. Chuppa actually gets P7, Technica P8, and Jack P9, Ben Gallagher P10. And I think that will be the story of the French Grand Prix for SLR for this season 4. Our very first French Grand Prix, actually. And Ben Gallagher gets a solitary point. And I think he'll be fairly happy with that. Maybe a bit of a rivalry between Antonio and Thorium. I think that's coming our way. As there's a bit of banter in the chat, so. But yeah, what a really good win. Yeah, a great race from everybody, really. 14 seconds worth of penalties. But yeah, well done, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We had 20 viewers at some points in this, so thank you very much. We appreciate all the support we get, and hopefully we can just provide better action as the weeks go forward. Obviously, next week, obviously we'll get some people back like Tumas and Evo, people like this. We'll be back, and hopefully you'll be back to join us. Surface takes his debut win. Very well done to him, and we'll see what he can do next time out at Austria. So thank you very much, everybody, and I'll see you next time. I'm Nene 7, and I am out of here.